Do you think you should be eating healthy? How long do you think you should be exercising? How long do you think you should be going to your dentist?
Welcome to Business Impacting the Space Coast, the podcast keeping you in the know on small business in Brevard County. Business Impacting the Space Coast is sponsored by Ideal Impact Media, your partner in video marketing and brand storytelling.
Today, I'm here with Dr. Abel from Coastline Spinal Health in Melbourne. Dr. Abel, why chiropractic?
Beautiful, I love that question. So why chiropractic? The reality, in my experience, there is two events that marked my career and got me into chiropractic. First of all, it's gonna be my mom. My mom suffered from ulcerative colitis. It's a condition from your GI. And I saw her suffering for years and years. And I remember I was around 7 or 8 years old. One day she went to the doctor, they gave her a medication that's supposed obviously to help her, but she had an allergy reaction to it that she had to go to the hospital. And I remember I still have that image of my mom, being swollen, her crying, being obviously scared about the situation. And that day I understood that my mom at that moment, she wasn't needing a specific medication. She didn't have ulcerative colitis because of a lack of medication. All she needed was health on her life. And another event happened later on, similar with a friend. So after that, I just started looking for natural ways of helping the people that I love. Okay, and then that research got me to chiropractic, which is the most alternative medicine out there used by the population, chiropractic. And that's the reason I'm here today. Went to chiropractic school looking for a profession, got out with a life mission, and that's what keeps me going.
How long have you been serving Brevard?
So serving Brevard myself, it's been 3 years. I started here as a chiropractor, working for 3 years now. When it comes to Coastline Spinal Health Center in Melbourne, it's going to be now 2 years in May. We're going to be obviously helping our community with different services beyond chiropractic, which is the main thing that we do. We do other services that has to do with the health and wellness in general, and that's where we're at.
That's awesome. You are expanding beyond, just hands-on chiropractic. You're actually putting on seminars and educating the public. Tell me more about that.
So the education component in our office is a priority. Okay? I always tell patients that an educated patient make better choices, not only for themselves, but for the family. And we cannot do everything at the clinic. Obviously, I tell them they spend more time outside of here than they will spend with me at the office. So we do every other month a workshop that has to do with the health and wellness. We have done detox, we have done human hormones, tomorrow we have the longevity. We have over 50 patients that are gonna be there. And it's gonna be a great event. We're gonna talk about how to expand the lifespan, but at the same time, health span. Because we all want to live more, right? Everybody wants to get to 100, but it's not about getting there, but the quality of life that you're going to have.
Absolutely. What would you say are some misconceptions around your practice and chiropractic?
Well, chiropractic in general, misconception will be once you go to a chiropractor, you will always have to keep going to the chiropractor. And I love this. And the best way to answer this question is to go back to another question. How long do you think you should be eating healthy? How long do you think you should be exercising? How long do you think you should be going to your dentist? Chiropractic is a health habit, We have patients that obviously great because of the system that we have. 93 to 95% of our patients don't only go because of pain. After the pain, they keep making sure that their spine is healthy, the joints are moving great. So now the conversation moved from actual pain to actually performing in life, whatever it is. Some people, we have business owners, you want to make sure you're performing. Maybe you work, you want to be the best at your job, you want to play with your kids, all that kind of stuff. So that's the beauty of chiropractic, that yes, they get to the office because having pain, we understand that, we're going to deal with that first, but then after that, once the pain goes out, it's about performance. What else can you do? Because one thing that I tell patients is that health is something that you have to do every day, because guess what, stressors are always constant.
Absolutely. What is some of the craziest things you've seen being in this field?
Craziest thing, oh yes, the first thing that came to my mind, seeing a patient with 7 medications for high blood pressure. After the second one, you should be thinking about if this is the right route, right? Literally, I have seen patients 7, 5 medication just for one thing, high blood pressure. So for me, that is crazy, because doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, that's insanity.
So how did you help him?
Okay, perfect. So, chronic diseases, we got to differentiate between acute and chronic. When it comes to acute, here in the United States, we're the #1 in the world. What I mean by that is, you had a car accident, trust me, don't get me to a chiropractor. Get me to the hospital, they're gonna save my life, okay? Now, chronic is lifestyle, things that we do every day that lead us to that. That's when heart disease, that's when cancers, that's when cognitive dysfunction situation and diseases comes. So a patient with that, I would say, like, let's talk about, your lifestyle. Let's talk about the environment. What are you doing? Are you exercising? Are you not? Are you eating healthy? What is those things that got you to that point? Maybe in an acute situation, obviously, sometimes we need some medication, but how I said, going back to that example, 5, 7, for the same situation, there is a moment that you have to actually sit down, look at yourself in the mirror, and ask you, as a patient, if that is the route that you want to go, and why didn't the first one solve your problem? Why do you have to get to the 7?
And so you're using all these tools at your disposal, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about education, you're talking about some of the manual things you do. What would a holistic approach be when you see somebody that's that far out of health?
Beautiful, that's great. First thing, foundation. We gotta do the foundation. Think about the most important system in the body, or organ. All the organs in the body are important, don't get me wrong. But a lot of people will say the heart, and I agree, the heart is massively important, right? But my biased opinion, I would say the nervous system, especially the central nervous system, which is the brain and spinal cord. Now, the brain controls every single part of your body, and that is something that, there is no discussion about it. Actually, they pronounce you dead when your brain starts working. So we gotta get the foundation first. What I mean by that is we wanna make sure that the brain is communicating with the rest of the body, and that information is coming back to the brain. So that way functions happen in your body. That's what we do as chiropractor, okay? Then after that, we're gonna go ahead and look at the other dimensions like nutrition. How is your nutrition? Are you eating food made by gut, or are you eating food that is packaged? Then we're gonna talk about physical activity or exercise, which are not the same. Physical activity is what we do throughout the day. Exercise actually to take some time to do a specific movement with specific goals. What are you doing when it comes to that part? And then it's all things emotional, stress. That's very important. And another thing that is very important that we talk in our office to all of our patients is community. And that's one of the reasons why we do this event. In the blue zones, that are the 7 places around the world with the most centenarian, they have a couple of things that are in common, all of them. And one of those is the community aspect, having good relationship, not only with your family, but actually friends. That is proven that increases the longevity of humans.
Wow. Well, Dr. Abel, I really appreciate it. How can people reach you?
So for me, myself, personally, it could be in Instagram. I use it every day. So Dr. Abel on Instagram. If you want to reach out the office, the best way, easiest way to make an appointment is going to be just text Chiro to 321-610-3000. And we're going to get you set up with the first appointment.
Awesome. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Business impacting the Space Coast, where Brevard gets down to business. Sponsored by Ideal Impact Media, your partner in video marketing and brand storytelling.